So today's topic, environmental issues. Here, before going to that, to healthy and peacefully to live in our environment, it should be clean and the comfort. So that means a clean environment or the clean atmosphere is needed to live peacefully and healthily. But nowadays we are taking our surrounding environment or the atmosphere we are taking means how it is. Day by day it is going to polluting here. So their nature is going to degrading. That means the quality of the atmosphere is going to decrease. So because of that we are facing. So the nature and humans or as well as the organism, they are facing so many problems here. So these we are going to discuss today's class. So under the chapter environmental issues. So environmental issues. So generally what type of the issues are facing the environment? So these issues are majorly occurs in the two factors, either by the naturally or by the human activity. So naturally it is a rare condition, these are going to occurs into the environmental issues are going to form. So but the majorly, so because of human activities, the environmental issues, environmental problems are facing into the more. So what are those means? Majorly air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, so etc. So etc. we are taking all these pollutants and the pollutions are causing a major effect in the environment. Generally, what is mean by the pollution? Pollution like that we are telling air, noise, water, soil. So like this we are telling into the, even though we are taking the global warming, greenhouse gases, ozone depletion, all these are into the bio-magnification, all these are into the different issues are facing regularly in our atmosphere we are doing. So these causes or these issues, why those are going to developing in the nature? Because of pollutions. So these are all pollution. So what is mean by the pollution? How we are going to describe the pollution? Means undesirable change. It is a undesirable change of nature in their chemical, physical and the biological aspects here. That means their chemical nature, their physical nature and the biological aspects, the atmosphere is going to change. So this is called as a pollution. How the pollution is occurs? A certain agents are causing the pollution. These are called as a pollutants. A different types of the factors, they act as a pollutant. Mostly these are into the human act. These are going to releases in the atmosphere because of the human activities. Like that as a carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxide, nitrous oxides. All these are comes under the pollutants. Either the gases, liquid or the solid states. These are presented into the atmosphere. These are going to releasing into the atmosphere. Then we are taking the classification of pollutants we are taking means. So pollutants. Classification. the classification we are seeing means these are the three forms: rapid, degraded, slow degraded, and non-degraded pollutants. Rapid degraded pollutants, slow degraded pollutants, and the non-degraded pollutants. So these are called as a rapid degraded pollutants, or these are called as a non-persistent pollutants. That means these pollutants, when these are going to releasing into the atmosphere, pollutants only, but these are very fastly they are going to degrading. They are very fastly going to degrading here. So like that as a some wastages. So some organic wastages which are releasing into the atmosphere. They comes under the rapid degraded pollutants. Example, vegetable or household wastages. Vegetable wastages or kitchen wastages or in our household wastages, they comes under the rapid degradable pollutants. These are fastly they are going to degrade it and mixing with the environment. And then second one is called as a slow degraded pollutants. So these are going to degrade it. They are going to mixing with the environment with a slower rate. Example, we are taking DDT, a certain chemical, biosynthetic chemicals are the chemicals we are taking. They are degraded, but they are going to degrade it into the slower rate. These are called as persistent. They retain same for the some time into the environment. They are called as persistent pollutants. Or these are called non-persistent pollutants here. And the third form we are taking non-degraded pollutants. Most of the metal ions, heavy metal ions, heavy metals are comes under the non-degradable pollutants, like that as a mercury, zinc, lead, nickel, so etc. These are all comes under the non-degradable pollutants. So like this, based on their degradation, pollutants are classified into the rapid degradable, so rapid degrade, slow degrade, and the non-degrade pollutants. This is the basic classification of the pollutant based on their degradation, their catalytic activity, their catalytic forms here. Next we are taking these pollutants, what they are doing in the environment. So these are going to causing a major effect into the environment. In that too, the major one is the air pollution. Air pollution is causing. So what it is mean by the air pollution and how it is happening, sources, causes, those things we can be discussed one by one. So first of all, air pollution. Air pollution. So what is mean by the air pollution? So first of all, air. Our surrounding atmosphere we are taking. Our surroundings we are taking. So it is fully covered by. Our earth is fully covered by the atmosphere. So atmosphere is nothing but as a envelope of the planet. So which is forming by the mixture of the gases, air or the gases here. So these are having a certain composition. So these gases, this mixture of gases are presented in the atmosphere. Our atmosphere, our surroundings are taking, so it is totally covering by the one envelope. Gases envelope is covered. So in that we are taking some nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, so sulfurs, all these are the different number of gases are included into this atmospheric components here. Suppose this in this composition is going to changes adversely. So it is going to changes into the adversely. That means harmfully. This composition is going to changes. So moderate. So changes into the adversely. That case is called as air pollution. Generally, what is the importance of atmosphere or air? or atmosphere we are taking. What is the importance of atmosphere or environment, surrounding environment? Generally, the atmospheric coverings we are taking. So from the external universe too, we are getting into them. We are getting the energy from sun. So from the sun, how we are getting the energy means as in the form of the radiation, solar radiation. Solar radiation here. Actually, how much amount of the radiation is emitted from the sun? In that, the 10% of, approximately the 10% of, so radiation only it is enters or it is reaches into the surface of that. The remaining is going to, it is going to transverse or it is going to reflected back into the, again back into the atmosphere here. So how it is happening means, our surrounding, our planet we are taking means, the earth we are taking, that entirely is covering by a number of gases, atmospheric gases here. Whenever from the sun to the solar radiation is emitting, it is passing through this atmospheric envelope and reaches into the surface of the earth. So from the solar radiation we are taking, the solar radiation is having the UV radiation, UV and the X-ray radiation is present. This UV and X-ray radiation is absorbed in this atmospheric layer, and only the few amount of energy or the light sources are allowed into the earth surface. That means if little quantity of the energy source is enters into the earth surface, the remaining is going to filter it by this envelope, the atmospheric envelope. So like this, the atmosphere we are taking, that is a air, whatever it is surrounded in our planet, the atmosphere whatever it is surrounded, it is giving into the protection from the solar radiation. So like this, the atmosphere is giving the protection our planet or the whatever the organism they are living into the on this earth surface. So this is the importance of the air or atmosphere we are doing. So this air, because of the pollutants, a number of pollutants, it is going to spoiling. It is causing into the air pollutions. So what are those number of the pollutants? From where to they are going to releasing your taking? So generally, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxides and nitrogen oxides. These are the major components of the gases we are taking, major components. So air pollutants we are taking. So carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxides and the nitrous oxides here. So these components, when they are going to releasing into the excessively in atmosphere, they are causing the air pollution. That is the altering of the composition of the gases in our surrounding is leads to air pollution. It leads to air pollution. So majorly these gases, from where to they are releasing the atmosphere. For example, carbon dioxide and the carbon monoxide. So the sulfur oxide, the nitrous oxide, these are going to releasing in the atmosphere from fossil fuels here. The combustion of the fossil fuels. Majority these are going to releasing the combustion of fossil fuels. So fossil fuels like automobiles, you are taking the automobile. The sources of these ones are called as automobiles. So automobiles we are using the fossil fuels like that as a petrol, diesel. These are we are going to using the regularly. So by combustion of these fossil fuels, their byproducts of the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxide, the nitrous oxides are going to release. And not only these, even though we are taking the industries, industrial effluent, industrial gases, okay, or the fireplaces, and these are the different sources of releasing of these gases. From these sources, generally these gases are going to releasing and causing the adverse effect in the environment. So this is generally called as a air pollution. Then we are taking air pollution. the sources of the air pollution. The sources of air pollution. So generally the sources of air pollution are like transport source, stationary source, area source, natural sources here. So first one is the transport source. That means through the automobiles. Transport source means through the automobile. The combustion, already we know that. So the fossil fuels like that diesel, petrol we are going to using into the transports, the vehicles we are taking. So these fossil fuels are burning off. These fossil fuels are giving into the nitrous oxides and the sulfur oxides here. The nitrous oxides and the sulfur oxides are going to producing along with the carbon monoxide. The major pollutant is a carbon monoxide. So these are a major source of the air pollution. Then the stationary sources we are taking. So stationary sources means like that as a industry, power plants, so power plants, incineration, so fireplaces. So these are all comes under the stationary sources. So in these industrial effluents or industries, from the industrial exhausters, from that to a number of air pollutants are going to releasing, or the power plants, that is thermal power plants like that we are doing the fly ash dust particles they are going to releasing. So incineration areas or the fireplaces. So these places also the ash is going to releasing here. So these are all emitted into the from these places and reaches into the atmosphere. They are causing the pollution. So these are the stationary sources. And the air sources like that as a agriculture sources. Agriculture, wood fires. So agriculture, wood, fire. So fireplaces. So that means agriculture wastages, burning processes we are taking. From there also these pollutants are heavily they are going to releasing. And the natural sources here like that as a volcanoes eruption. So dust particles. From these sources, through the natural process also, like that is a volcanoes eruption. When the volcanoes are erupted or they blasted, that time from those places to a higher amount of the ash particle, dust particles are going to release in the atmosphere. That time also it causes into the pollution. So like these are into the four sources of the air pollution. Okay, these are the four sources. Then how the air pollution is occurs? So what are the causes here? The majorly the two ways the air pollution is occurs in atmosphere. One is the discharge of the gases. One is discharge of gases. Second one is discharge of particulate matter. So particulate matter. So first one is the discharge of gases. So discharge of gases means here already we know that carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and the sulfur oxides. These are the major pollutants we know that. The carbon monoxide we are taking. So carbon monoxide is majorly discharges from the automobile sources. So this carbon monoxide is causing the air pollution. The same way the carbon dioxide. So it is causing the air pollution. So carbon dioxide here. And the nitrous oxide and the sulfur oxides. The oxides of the nitrogen and the sulfur. So these are the majors. Generally the carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide is causing the air pollution and leads to the number of health issues in the humans and organisms we are taking. And the nitrous oxide and the sulfur oxides we are taking. So these are the major sources for the acid rain formation. These are the major factors in the formation of the acid. The carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide is a majorly effects in the global warming, and these are acting as a greenhouse gases. So like this, the discharge of the gases is going to alter a regular composition of the environment gases mixture, and they are causing the polluting, so air pollution effect. Then the second one we are taking the discharge of the particulate matter. Generally we are taking 2.5 to 10 millimicrons of discharged particles, like that as ash we are taking. So like that as ash particles or dust particles. So those who are they are going to discharges from these industrial areas, or even the automobile exhaustions. So from that too, a number of particles are going to releasing. So those particles are causing into the air pollution. So majorly these are the two ways the pollutants are going to releasing in the atmosphere, either in the gases form or into the solid matter. Solid matter means as a particulate matter. So these particles are, the suspended particles are in the 2.5 to the 10 micrometers of the diameters they are having. Then these are into the sources and the air pollution. Then the effects of the air pollution we are taking. So what are the effects causing the air pollution? What problems are occurs into the air pollution? So these effects we are taking. So majorly effects of air pollution we are taking. Because of the air pollution, the major effect is the respiratory problems are occurs into the humans. See, humans we are taking the air effects in the air pollution, the humans we are taking. So those who are regularly exposing the air pollutants, like that is a carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide, so those they are getting into the breathing problems. So they are getting into the breathing problems, like that as a emphysema. So like that as a emphysema or the lung infections. These are they are getting into the majorly because of the carbon dioxide and the carbon monoxide regularly inhaling. And these air pollutants, like that as a carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, are the oxides of the nitrogen and the sulfur. They are causing the infection in nose, eyes, throat, so etc. In these sensitive places they are getting. So throat we are taking. So these are the sensitive places they are getting into the infection. So this is also because of the air. This is also effect, the infection effect. The irritations are going to forming because of the air pollution. And cardiovascular disorders. So the air pollution is also leads into the cardiovascular disorders here. So cardiovascular means, so how the cardiovascular disorders are forming? When we are continuously inhaling the polluted air, so it is going to enters into the blood. Through the blood it is going to reaches into the blood capillaries. The elasticity of the blood capillary, the accumulation of these pollutants, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, they are going to deposit it. The walls of the blood capillaries, their elasticity capacity they are going to losses, and automatically it leads into the cardiovascular disorders, or it is the highly risk in some of the cases it is going to causes into the heart attacks also. So those are also going to forming because of air pollution. So like this we are taking cardiovascular disorders are forming, and NO2 and SO2 we are taking, nitrous oxide and the sulfur oxides. These air pollutants are also causing the acid rains here. acid rains. So these acid rains are going to destroying into the as well as the crops, and these are also going to causing the irritation, skin allergies into the animals and the humans. Like this, the pollutants, different types of the air pollutant, different factors of the air pollutants are causing the major effects into the humans and as well as the environment. So they are causing the adverse effect into the humans and the environment. The other effects of air pollutants we are taking. So these are also causing somebody, they are jogging into the outsides. The morning, early mornings we are taking the outsides. So that time they are going to inhaling into the polluted air and they are causing into the major health problems. So better to jogging or the exercising into the tree crowded areas, the greeny areas is the better. Then other effects into the air pollution we are taking. So along with the human health problems, the deficiency of the immunity and causing the cardiovascular diseases, breathing problems, so irritations, all these, along with these, some other effects also causing the air pollution. So those we are taking. So carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide. So majorly these are taken, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and the CFC we are taking. So the chlorofluorocarbons. These are majorly emitted from the different sources. So like that as a combustions process and the refrigerators. From those two, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and the chlorofluorocarbons are going to release. So these are the major sources for the global warming. So global warming is causing because of the air pollution. How it is? When these gases are going to releasing in the atmosphere, the atmospheric temperatures are going to rising. When the atmospheric temperatures are slowly going to rising, automatically the ice of polar region, polar ice is going to melted and they are going to increasing into the sea levels. So it causes into the problem, the increasing of the number of decades, the increasing of the sea levels, some areas are going to submerge or they are going to mixing with the sea water here. So like this, the global warming is because of these air pollutants. And greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect, majorly the greenhouse effect, the greenhouse gases we are taking the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, methane and sulfur oxides. These are all comes under the greenhouse gases. So these greenhouse gases also excessively when they are going to release in the atmosphere, when they are present excessively, these are causing the greenhouse effect here. These are called as the greenhouse gases. So like this greenhouse and the ozone depletion. Ozone depletion here. So depletion is nothing but as the decreasing of the thickness of the ozone in the stratosphere in some places because of these pollutants. So what it is happened, the thickness of the ozone layer is going to decrease. When it is going to decreases, already we discussed at environment, whatever the atmosphere it is surrounded our planet, so it is going to absorbing the UV radiation here. So when the ozone thickness is going to decreases, it is depleted, that time the UV radiation is directly enters into the atmosphere and our atmosphere, that is it reaches into the surface of the planet here. So it leads into the so many number of health problems and causing into the cancers here. So that ozone depletion is also occurs because of the air pollution only, ozone depletion and acid rains. Acid rains. So like that is a sulfur oxides and the nitrous oxides. These together reacting with the chemically, they are going to reacting in the atmosphere along with the water molecule, they are going to raining as a acid. So these are called as acid rain. So majorly these are going to affect into the crop. So crop productivity is going to damaging the acid rains and the pan gases. Pan gases. Peroxyactic So peroxyacetic acid, so gases we are taking. These peroxyacetic acid gases, peroxyacetyl gases we are taking. These are going to converted. So peroxy ethyl oxide, ethyl residues are going to forming. So these are going to causing into the health problem in the humans. So like this, the other effects also causing. So other effects also causing in the humans and the environment because of the air pollution. So these are the other effects into the air pollution. Then we are taking to the controlling measures. How we are going to control the air pollution means the increasing of the plantation. So preventing of the deforestation and reducing of the utilization of the automobiles unnecessarily, and whatever the effluents they are going to releasing the industrially, so those they are going to purify those gases. These controlling measures we are going to following, we can easily reducing into the air pollution. These are the controlling measures. And the legal activities we are taking. The legal activities of the air pollution control we are taking means in our Indian government in the 1980s Air Act in the 1981, it is established in the 1981 Air Act, and it is amended to the 1987. According to that, some strict rules are given. So basically we following these rules, we are going to decrease. That means the automobile emissions, those how can they are going to maintain. So this act is going to explain it. And not only that, so BS6 for the automobiles. So BS6 for the automobiles in the 2020. This amendment is also according to this amendment, this act also, the automobile exhaustions are going to reducing with the automobile exhaustion. So that is a bar stage 6. We are taking BS6 means bar stage 6. The 2020. According to that, the emission levels of the automobiles are going to decreases to protecting into the environment. So like these legal acts of the government is taking care how to control into the air pollutants and the air pollution. These are into the legal activities of the air pollutions we are taking. Then the effects of the air pollution, the quality of the air pollutants we are taking. So majorly 1 to 50, it is called as a air quality index here. It is called as a air quality index. So index we are taking. Suppose the particulate index, the index range is the 1 to 50 means it is into the good. 50 to 100 means it is into the moderate, and the 100 to 150 unhealthy, and the 150 to 200 very unhealthy, and the 200 to 250 so unhealthy, very unhealthy here, and the 300 and the plus, it is the hazard or the poisons. So like this, the index we are taking as a green, orange, yellow and the red. So like the dark red, like that they are going to mentioning the levels, the level of the quality of the air. So based on the taking of in this index, that is a so good, moderate, unhealthy, very unhealthy, the hazard. So air quality they are going to discuss. Water pollution, whether we are taking to the water. So it is an important factor of the life. Any living organism, whether you are taking the living organism, without the food material they can survive, but without the water they are not able to survive even though a single day also. That means the water is a major source or the major important factor in the life of the organism or the living organism. So this water, the water we are taking, the quality of the water, the quality of water we are taking. So the quality of the water is affecting the life of the organism and the health of ecosystem. So we are taking the health of the ecosystem and the life of the organism. Both are depending based on into the quality of the water only. Whether you are taking the water sources, where the water is available means a different sources are presented, marines, rivers, ponds, lakes, etc. we are taking. There the water bodies, the water is presented. So it is having or it is showing the two characters. One is the quantity and other one is the quality. The quantity and the quality. The quantity and the quality. So the quantity means the amount of the water. The quality means the nature of the water. So basically the quality of the water is influencing the life of the organism and the health of the ecosystem. So whether this quality is going to changes, the water quality is going to changes, it leads to the pollution here. So whether we are taking the quality of the water in the different water bodies we are taking. So for example, marines we are taking, there the water is the salty. Rivers we are taking, there the water is in the, so fresh water is presented. Ponds we are taking, there the fresh water is ashers we are taking, there the mixed water is presented. Like this, the quality and the quantity is going to changes based on the water bodies here. So like this, the water is very important in the living organism and balancing of the ecosystems we are taking. Then this water, or in this water, how it is going to polluting. So the water pollution is occurring. Pollution. So generally pollution, how we are defined the water pollution means the chemical, physical, biological. So biological. The change in the chemical, physical, biological properties of the water. So that means the changes into the any one of these and aesthetic characters along with these three and the aesthetic characters. Aesthetic characters means the transparency of the water and the smelling of the water. Those two we are taking the aesthetic characters. So whether the chemical changes or the physical changes are occurs or the biological changes are occurs. So those changes are harmful to the organism. Suppose those changes are harmful to the organism, whatever those are consuming the water. So whatever they are consuming this water or whatever the organism those are living in that water. So suppose the changes of these factors or the changes of these characters of the water, it is harmful. That condition or that state of the water is called as a water pollution. So that is called as a water pollution. Generally, water pollution, how it is occurs. So water, how it is going to polluting. So the two factors are there, water pollution. So one is natural factors. By the nature itself, sometimes some of the water bodies or some amount of the water itself is going to polluting because these pollutants are adding into these water bodies here. So that is into the one. And the second one is the man-made. So man-made pollutants. So that means the activities of the humans or the wastages, those are leads to or those are mixed with the water bodies. Those wastages are going to mix with the water bodies. That time also it causes into the water pollution here. So whether the water pollution is occurs, what it is happened. So water is going to polluting, so it may leads into a severe effect into the organism and as well as the ecosystems we are taking. Generally, how the water pollution is occurs? What are the sources of the water pollution we are taking? Source of water pollution. The source of water pollution we are taking means that the three types or the three sources are presented here. One is point source, and second one is a non-point source, and the third one is the leakage or the split. Okay, so leakage or the split here. So like these three sources, these are the three sources according to the water pollution we are taking. This is the three types of the pollution sources are present. First one is the point sources here. So like that, suppose we are taking, so in this type of the water pollution, the point sources we are taking, the point source water pollution we are taking, here in this type of water pollution, so specific sites are presented. Water polluting releasing sites are presented, like that as a sewage water pipelines or sewage waste pipelines we are taking, or the canals we are taking. Those are directly going and mixing with the water bodies one particular region. So those type of the sources are called as a point source water pollutants here. The second one is a non-point water source. Non-point, so water pollution sources we are there. Here the specific area is not there. Here specific area is presented. We are going to define into the one particular point, one particular region of where it is going to pollution is occurring. But in this case, there is no specific water, there is no specific area, no specific area is presented. We are not going to define the particular area water pollution is going. So as a broadly it is going to occur into the different regions. So that type of the water polluting sources are called as a non-pointed pollutant sources, and the leakage or the spill. So the leakage. So suppose in case of the traveling of oil ships, the accidental cases of the oil ships or the trucks, so those cases, the oil is going to spreading on the water sources. It leads into the pollution. How it is means, so suppose when the accidentally the oil containing or the oil ships or the oil rigs, from there to the leakage occurs. For example, oil rims, the sea basins of the oil rims, from there to sometimes the leakage is going to occur. The split, sometimes those sources, the oil is going to split out here. So that condition, what it is happened means, those water bodies, the quality of the water, that is a BOD and the COD is going to increases here. So that case, it leads into the water pollution. So like this, based on into the sources, these are into the three types of the water polluting sources are presented: point water pollution source, non-point water pollution source, and the leakage and the split water pollution source here. So this is into the one classification. And the next classification, another classification we are taking, the sources of water pollution we are taking. Basically, from which point of they are going to releasing the water pollutants. These are again into the three types: municipal, waste pollutants, or the municipal waste, so sources, industrial, agriculture sources. So municipal waste, sources we are taking are the industrial sources and the agriculture. One by one. So municipal waste sources or municipal waste pollutants here. That means household wastages or the commercial wastages we are taking. The household wastages or the commercial wastages, from there to the solid pollutant particles are going to mixing with the water bodies. That time it leads into the water pollution. So this is into the one source here, first source. Then the industrial sources. So industrial effluents. So industrial effluents, whether we are taking the industrial wastewater or the industrial effluents, when they are going to releasing directly into the water bodies, that may leads or that may causes into the water pollution. It is into the second source of the water pollution. And the agriculture wastages. Agriculture wastages means a different types of the chemicals, pesticides, insecticides, so fertilizers. So these are we are taking. So these are abundant in the agriculture wastages. Agriculture wastewater we are taking. So these components are majorly they are present. Whether the industrial wastages we are taking the cadmium, nickel, chromium, so mercury, these heavy metals are presented into the industrial waste. Whether you are taking the municipal wastages, degradable and the plastic are the mostly into the degradable or the organic solid wastages are going to presented here. So like this in the different factor, the different sources, agriculture sources we are taking the straw, so paddy straws, that is a waste straw or the organic and the chemical, so wastages are going to mixing with the water body and causes into the water pollution. So these are based on the from which field of the pollutants are going to releasing, based on that these three types, and these three types we are taking. So the sources based on into the pollutants where they are going to mixing with the water bodies, these are into the three types here like this. So these three types and these three types are the sources of the water pollution. Then we are taking how the water pollution is causing, the effects of the water pollution we are taking, how it is going to affecting into the ecosystem and as well as the organism. Effect of water pollution. Effect of the water pollution. So there are the two major effects. One is the destruction. So destruction of ecosystem. So first one is the destruction of the ecosystem. The second one is the disruption of food chain and the well. So these are the two major effects of the water pollution we have. So first one is the destruction of the ecosystem. Whenever the water is going to pollute it. So for example, we are taking the aquatic ecosystem we are taking. This aquatic ecosystem is so majorly affected by the water pollutants we are taking. How it is means, so whenever we are taking to the one pond, that pond water is completely spoiled or it is going to pollute it. So that time the habitat or the niche of that particular organism, aquatic ecosystem, animals of the aquatic ecosystem, they are going to disrupted here. They are going to die. So this is leads into the disruption of the ecosystem. So not only that, the disruption of the not only the aquatic ecosystem, even the soil ecosystem also we are taking. These water pollution, the water pollute or the pollutants of the water is going to reduce the soil fertility. So it is going to reduce into the soil fertility. Whenever the water sources are going to pollute it, the soil fertility is also going to reducing. And not only that, the organisms which are living into the aquatic ecosystem or the soil ecosystem, those are going to affected by these pollutants. That means they are going to losing their habitat, or they are going to losing their niche here. So like this is a major effect is occurs into the water pollution on ecosystem we are taking. The second one is the disruption of the food chain. Disruption of the food chain. Already we discussed the industrial wastages. Majorly they can, the industrial effluents we are taking, the heavy metals are present. Heavy metals are present. So heavy metals like that as a mercury, nickel, chromium, so cadmium, these metals are presented into the industrial wastage. So those directly going to releasing into the water body. Those wastages are directly going to releasing into the water body. So they are going to accumulating into the different levels of the ecosystems. So whether we are taking these industrial wastages, these heavy metals, when they are going to releasing, the primary consumers, like that as a zooplanktons. Suppose in the aquatic ecosystem you are taking the zooplanktons, or into the primary consumers like the small secondary consumers like the small fishes like that we are taking. So their body, these heavy metals are in the trace amount in the regular time intervals, they are going to accumulate. So when it is going to accumulating, so from one level to the another level, when food chain is going to increasing, so the food chain is passing, so these heavy metal from the one level to the another level, so this accumulation of these toxic elements are going to increasing here. So this is a process is called as a biomagnification. So biomagnification process. So biomagnification is nothing but as a, so in a ecosystem, so from the primary, secondary, tertiary, like this, consumers we are producers, consumers we are taking. So producers, so primary consumers, secondary consumers, and the tertiary consumers we are taking. So from first level to the second level to the third level, so keep on increasing to these heavy metals in the tropical level or the ecosystem levels. That process is called as a biomagnification. So it is also occurs because of the water pollution. So these are the major two effects of the water pollution. Then other effects of the water pollution we are taking. So what are the other effects of the water pollution? So these two are the major effects. The other effects of the water pollution we are taking. Other effects we are taking. Majorly, the water pollution leads to health problems. So it leads into the health problems of humans and animals here. So those humans, they are consuming into the polluted waters, or the animals, those who are living into these polluted waters, they are majorly facing into the health problems. This is the one major effect. And the second one is the loss of habitat or the niche. So loss of habitat. When the water is going to pollute, that time the organisms which are living in that particular water bodies or those water sources, they are losing their habitat here, or their niche is going to losses here. And the diseases like so many diseases are going to spreading. So because of the water pollution, like there is a hepatitis, typhoid, so cholera, so these diarrhea, these are all we are taking. And different types of the health issues or the diseases are going to spreading. So because of water pollution only. And not only that, the major effect into the ecosystem, the water pollution, that is called as a eutrophication. Eutrophication is going to occur. So what is mean by the eutrophication means enrichment of, eutrophication is nothing but as a enrichment of nutrients enrichment of the nutrients in the water body. So what it is mean by the enrichment of the nutrients into the water body means whenever the farmers are continuously utilizing into the fertilizers, so that is the chemical fertilizers, up to certain amount of the nutrients or the chemicals are going to utilizing into the crops, the remaining excessive amount of the nutrients or the fertilizers those they are utilized into the crop fields, so those excessive amount of the chemicals are wash out along with the wastewater of the agriculture and reaches into the water bodies. That means nearby the ponds they are going to reach. So those pond water is having into the enriched with the these chemical fertilizers or the nutrients here. So those are going to accumulating in particular pond. So pond area. So at that time, this enrichment of the nutrients in that particular pond, the particular pond on the surface of the ponds we are taking. So the algal forms are going to growing here. They are covering, they entirely covering into the algal forms. Unwanted algal forms they are going to cover. So it leads into the decreased oxygen dissolve. The dissolution of the oxygen is going to decreasing slowly. So oxygen is not properly dissolves into the pond water. Automatically when oxygen is going to decreasing, the availability of the oxygen is going to decreasing. The remaining other aquatic animals which are present in that ecosystem, they are going to die here. So this is a process is called as a eutrophication. That is the covering of the entire pond with the algal blooms is called as a eutrophication. So this is also another major effect is causing because of the water pollution only. Then how we are going to control prevention of the water pollution? So prevention of the water pollution we are doing are the legal actions of the water pollution, prevention and the controlling of the water pollution we are doing. How we are going to control that? So water pollution means according to the 1974 Act, according to the 1974 Act, Article 21. So there is a right given, the right of cleaning. The right of cleaning. So what is the right? What is in this right means the clean water, getting of the clean water and the cleaning of the water is given in the Indian Constitution, the 1974 Act, Article 21. According to this Article 21, so this Act is compulsory, so they have to implement it here. So this is into the one fact. And the Water Act, not 1974, so Act 21, Article 21, the Indian Constitution we are taking, IC we are taking, Act, so Article 21 is giving it the right to clean here. And the 1974 Act of Water, or the Water Act we are taking, according to this Act, whatever it is the water pollutants they are going to mixing, so they have to be controlled or the prevented, or they have to be regulated according to the 1974 Water Act or Act of Water we are taking. So those pollutants, the pollutants which are causing into the water pollution, so those are going to treated or the prevented the mixing of the water body according to the 1974. Not only these two legal actions here, and as well as the central government and the state government. The central government bodies and the state government bodies we are there. So for example, MOEF, CC we are there. Ministry of Environment and the Forest Climatic Changes we are taking. MOEFCC we are taking, or National NRCP, that is nothing but as a National Rivers Conservation Plan we are taking. So like these central and the state government policies or the agencies, programs we are taking, so those are going to regulate water pollution here. So majorly these are going to conducting awareness towards into the prevention of the water pollution. So not only these controlling actions and the prevention activities like that as a establishment of the sewage water treatment plants we are taking. Sewage water treatment, STPs we are taking. So sewage water treatment plants and pre-treatment. The pre-treatment of wastewater. So wastewater and the scientific methods. So scientific methods of wastewater treatment. So these precautions we are going to taking, we are able to control or the preventing the water pollution. So these are into the prevention measures or the some of the other factors which are going to utilizing to preventing into the water pollution. And not only these, the central government is taking to the action or the taking the started to the program Namami Ganga. So project they are started here. So according to this Ganga project, so what it is the Namami Ganga project means the cleaning of the entire Ganga river. So like this, the national and the state government acts or the national the state government activities, they are going to preventing effectively into the water pollution here. So these are the prevention, the precautions of prevention, the controlling measures of the water pollution here. Next one we are taking to the noise pollution. So what it is mean by the noise? So next one is the noise pollution. So what is mean by the noise? So noise means here the sound. So whether you are taking to the sound, whether it is going to harmful to the organism or it is going to changes into the organism. So their activities are going to affected by the sound. That state is called as a noise. That is a state is called as a noise here. Generally, the noise pollution is the sources of the noise pollution we are taking automobiles, industries, machinery, and compressors, so etc. etc. So these are the large scale industries or the automobiles, machineries and the compressors, the different sources to the noise is going to produce. So these are into the different sources of the noise pollution. Generally, what it is mean by the noise pollution, not only these and even those speakers, the loudspeakers, these are all into the different sources of the noise pollution. Then when we are calling as a noise pollution, how it is occurs means whether the certain sound range, the sound is whether it crosses into the 80 decibels, generally dB. So the noise pollution or the sound is going to calculate into the decibels we are taking. Whether it is exceeds into the 80 decibels, this state is called as a noise here or the noise pollution. So what is the effect of the noise pollution means? The noise pollution majorly causing, it is directly related with the health of humans. The United States, the United environmental agency we are taking, United States Environmental Agency we are taking. So they are identified that the noise or the sounds are directly related with the human activities or the human health we are taking. That means whenever the noise pollution is occurring, it leads into the heart diseases and irritation, anxiety, and panic condition, high BP, that is a hypertension. So these all is going to leads because of the noise pollution, because of the surrounding noises here. So directly they are going to affecting into the human health. This is the one fact. The second one, the noise pollution is also causing the damage whatever they are going to living into the water sources or the surroundings are we are taking. So water animals. So this noise pollution, for example, into the ports. So ship ports we are taking. The ports, so there because of the sirens or into the ship sounds or the machineries or the offshore machineries, the drillers, these are all causing the changes into the water animals here. That means aquatic animals are going to getting into the effect of this water, this noise pollution we have. So like this, the sounds or the noise is going to leads into the directly the human health problems are going to causing, and as well as the surrounding animals, the water animals, the aquatic animals, they are also going to affected into this noise pollution. Then how we are going to preventing so the noise pollution? That means the exceeding of these decibels of the sounds. The exceedings of these decibels, that means more than the 80 decibels, it leads into the noise pollution. So to controlling the noise pollution, So how can we are going to control the noise pollution? So the simple thing it is, whatever the sources are causing into the noise pollution, like that as a regular servicing of automobiles. So automobiles are majorly causing the noise pollution. The regular servicing of the automobiles is reducing the noise pollution. Or lubricating of machinery. So the lubricating of the regular lubricating of the machinery and reducing of industrial sounds by plantating these areas. The highly plantating of the industrial areas are going to reducing into the sound effects or the noise effects we are going to taking. So like this, automobiles, lubricating at the industrial area plantation. So like this, these activities are going to reducing into the sound. And not only that, the prevention of the loudspeakers. So like this, these factors we are going to consider, or these activities we are going to done, they are going to reducing into the noise pollution. Generally, the noise pollution we are taking, the limitations of the noise we are taking, in the commercial areas, the daytime we are taking the 65 decibels into the daytime and the 55 decibels in night time here. Whether it is going to exceeds in the commercial areas itself we are taking. So 65 decibels to it is going to exceeds. So this is a state is called as a noise pollution. Whether in the night time the 55 decibels is going to exceeds, this is a state is called as a noise pollution here. So we have to control into the 65 to the 55 the day and the night times even the commercial areas by maintenance of all these factors, by following of all these factors. Not only these, Even though legal actions also we are going to taking, so to controlling into the noise pollution according to the article 48A and the 51A. So according to the article 48A in the Indian Constitution, article 48A and the 51A, so making of the more noises or the making of the more sounds is prohibited. Making of the more sounds are prohibited. And noise pollution regulation. So noise pollution rule. So rule 2000, according to this rule, noise pollution rule we are taking, according to this rule, the making of the noise pollution or the producing of the more noises is prohibited here. And not only that, the Tamil Nadu government we are taking so 2017, it giving the amendment into the noise pollution rule. It is giving the exemptions into the noise pollution rules. So like this, the legal actions also we are going to taking to controls into the noise pollution here.